Your doctor won't tell you that there are 4 cheeses you should completely avoid, and 4 that you must eat if you're over 60. According to a study that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, eating the wrong kinds of cheese can raise your risk of heart disease by up to 40%. According to this study, saturated fats found in some common cheeses can also cause artery blockages, elevated blood pressure, and even transient ischemic episodes, which are mild strokes. Importantly, a lot of these ostensibly innocuous cheeses are promoted as gourmet or healthful, which actually increases their risk. Furthermore, the effects extend beyond heart health. Certain cheeses can raise inflammation, cause blood sugar problems, and progressively hasten cognitive deterioration. Indeed, even seemingly innocuous items, such as a slice of creamy cheese on a cracker or a grilled cheese sandwich, might cause a health crisis, particularly if you're over 60. Your body's capacity to metabolize fats and sodium is greatly diminished at this age. Hold off till you learn about the most hazardous kind of cheese. You have probably eaten it before, and it is much more dangerous than you may have been told. We're going to show you the cheese that experts now refer to as a stroke on a plate, so stay tuned. But don't freak out. Not every cheese is bad for you. In fact, picking the correct ones can be really good for your bones, brain, and intestines. Before we start, please let us know where you plan to see this in the comment box below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Let's get started right away by discussing the top 4 cheeses that every person over 60 should eat. We're going to talk about mozzarella next, specifically fresh or buffalo mozzarella. I would like to know if you are currently tuning in. Please leave a remark in the space provided if this video resonates with you. Type 0 if that's the case. Put away whatever assumptions you may have about mozzarella. One of the greatest cheeses you can eat after turning 60 is this one, provided it is fresh and little processed. In contrast to the highly processed, rubbery, shredded types seen in retail plastic bags, real mozzarella, especially true buffalo mozzarella, is made with just water buffalo milk, salt, rennet, and cultures. This purity results in a cheese with comparatively low amounts of saturated fat, less sodium, and an abundance of high-quality protein. Indeed, an investigation published in the European Journal of Nutrition in 2022 showed that older adults who ate fresh, low-salt cheeses like mozzarella had better vascular flexibility and saw fewer flare-ups of arthritis. This is probably due to the high calcium to sodium ratio and its inherent anti-inflammatory qualities. The balance of fresh mozzarella is another factor that appeals to senior citizens. It is high in vital minerals, including calcium, phosphorus, and selenium, and has less lactose, which facilitates digestion. Notably, buffalo milk has higher zinc and vitamin A content and better antioxidant properties. For older people to maintain a robust immune system and good vision, these nutrients are essential. It is also one of the few cheeses that retain significant levels of bioactive peptides. It has been demonstrated that these naturally occurring substances, which are produced during fermentation, have blood pressure lowering qualities. Additionally, conjugated linoleic acid, a fatty acid that improves fat metabolism and lowers inflammation, is present in considerable amounts in mozzarella. 2 elements that are particularly crucial for the treatment of long-term ailments, including joint pain and arthritis. Furthermore, mozzarella is incredibly adaptable. It can be layered on tomatoes with basil and olive oil for a traditional pairing, or it can be tossed into a fresh salad or drizzled over roasted veggies. It is not heavy, yet it is pleasant. Therefore, if you're searching for a cheese that promotes heart, bone, and immunological health without causing bloating or elevated blood pressure, mozzarella is a great everyday choice. 3rd place goes to feta cheese. When feta is included among the healthy foods, people are frequently surprised by its unique salty and tangy flavor. Here's the reality though. In moderation, feta is one of the healthiest cheeses for people over 60. Feta, which is usually prepared from sheep's milk or a combination of sheep and goat milk, has a special protein makeup that makes it simpler to digest and is kinder to aging digestive systems than cheeses made from cow's milk, since it contains less lactose. The nutritional profile of feta is what really sets it apart. Feta has less fat than creamier cheeses, but is nonetheless high in calcium, protein, and vitamin B12, all of which are essential for strong bones, muscular strength, and normal neurological function as you age. The presence of probiotics, or good bacteria, which are essential for gut health, is one of the many noteworthy advantages of feta. Probiotic-rich foods, like feta, can improve digestion, reduce bloating, and strengthen the immune system. This is especially crucial for seniors who frequently suffer from digestive problems or a diminished diversity of microbiomes as a result of age-related changes in medicines. It has a strong flavor, so a tiny bit is enough to satisfy your cravings without getting too much in the way of calories or sodium. Additionally, because it is a crumbly cheese, portion control is naturally encouraged. A simple addition of a few crumbles to a salad or roasted vegetables can improve the nutritional value and satisfaction of your meal. Rinsing feta before eating lowers its sodium content by up to 30%, making it an even safer option for people with high blood pressure who are worried about their salt intake. Another great choice is Swiss cheese, which is distinguished by its unique holes and subtle nutty flavor. Swiss cheese has a lovely array of health benefits for senior citizens. Perhaps the biggest benefit of Swiss cheese is its remarkably low sodium content, just 54 milligrams per ounce, or almost 75% less than many other hard cheeses. As a result, Swiss is a great choice for elderly people who wish to enjoy the flavor of a traditional cheese, while keeping an eye on their blood pressure or treating heart issues. The natural aging process of Swiss cheese reduces lactose to almost nil, making it one of the most naturally lactose-free cheese options. This helps to address the increased lactose sensitivity that many older persons experience as they age. According to studies, the particular bacterial strains used to make Swiss cheese, Propionibacterium freudenreichii in particular, produce advantageous chemicals during fermentation that are associated with enhanced immunological function in older people. Furthermore, vitamin K2, which is also created during these fermentation processes, is essential in avoiding calcium buildup in the arteries and instead directing it toward bone strength. Swiss cheese is a great source of calcium, with about 200 tons of calcium per ounce. For older persons who are struggling with age-related bone density loss, this is especially helpful in meeting their higher calcium requirements. Swiss cheese has an outstanding protein content of almost 8 grams per ounce, providing the vital amino acids required to counteract the increasing rate of loss that occurs after the age of 60. Swiss cheese's high vitamin B12 content, nearly 16% of the daily recommended consumption per ounce, makes it especially beneficial for brain function. This is important because it addresses the decreased absorption of B12 that is frequently observed as people age, which can affect cognitive function. Additionally, new research indicates that the particular fatty acid composition of Alpine-style cheeses, such as Swiss, may lower inflammation indicators in older adults. The characteristic holes in Swiss cheese have a useful function for senior citizens. They develop as a result of gas-releasing bacteria that aid in the breakdown of the cheese's constituents over time, facilitating better digestion. First, let's talk about goat cheese. Once you're 60, goat cheese ought to be a regular in your fridge. There is more to goat cheese than just its deliciously smooth texture. It is among the most nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, and easily digested cheeses on the market. The lipids in goat milk are naturally composed of short and medium-chain fatty acids. What does this mean? Because these acids are easier for your liver to process and less likely to be deposited as body fat, they are especially beneficial as your metabolism slows down with age. Curiously, goat cheese has lower levels of lactose and less casein, the main dairy protein that frequently causes digestive problems for many people. This lessens the likelihood of bloating or pain and eases the stomach. Goat cheese also contains a lot of probiotics, which are good bacteria that help with digestion, immune system support, and even mood regulation. Our gut microbiome's diversity declines with age, which may impair immunity and exacerbate inflammation. This balance is naturally restored with the help of goat cheese. It is also rich in selenium, which is essential for thyroid health and antioxidant defense, and zinc, which promotes tissue regeneration and immune system function. Its contribution to brain health, however, is arguably its most underappreciated advantage. Beneficial omega-3 fatty acids and a special type of vitamin A found in goat cheese help with memory and cognitive processes. This nutrient-dense cheese is being studied for its potential to postpone the onset of age-related cognitive decline and prevent Alzheimer's disease. Goat cheese is also renowned for having a straightforward ingredient list, devoid of artificial ingredients or additional additives. Goat cheese, as opposed to processed cheeses, provides taste and adaptability to any recipe, whether it's incorporated into a vegetable omelet, spread on whole grain bread, or sprinkled over a salad. After discussing the 4 best cheeses to eat, let's move on to the cheeses you should stay away from, particularly if you're older than 60. Fourth on this list is American cheese. As you become older, you should stay away from this cheese-like product, even though it could bring back fond memories of your childhood grilled cheese sandwiches. In all honesty, American cheese isn't cheese in the conventional sense. Emulsifiers, additional salt, artificial coloring, and preservatives are combined with real cheese to create this processed dish. One slice has about 15% of the daily recommended salt consumption, so you should be mindful of the sodium content. For older persons who are currently treating high blood pressure or cardiac diseases, this extra salt can have a major effect on blood pressure management. Maintaining a balanced gut flora becomes more crucial as we age because gut health directly affects inflammation and immunological response throughout the body. Disturbances in gut flora have been connected to the emulsifiers used to produce that creamy texture. Furthermore, processed cheese frequently contains artificial phosphates that might hinder the absorption of calcium, which is a serious problem for older people who are already experiencing age-related bone loss. These phosphate additions, which were specifically investigated in older populations, exhibit a startling association with elevated arterial calcification, which is essentially an accelerated process of artery hardening that normally happens with aging. Many excellent cheese substitutes are available to satiate your appetites without the unsettling ingredients. Therefore, the health risks are simply not justified by the convenience. Blue cheese comes in third. It gets complex at this point. For older folks, blue cheese can quickly become dangerous, even though it frequently exudes a sense of culinary elegance. The distinctive veined mold is actually penicillium mold, a live fungus that generates biogenic substances like histamine and tyramine, and it's not just there for flavor. Younger, healthier people metabolize these substances more quickly. But as we become older, our body's enzymatic activity declines, which makes these compounds last longer and may be harmful. According to a recent 2023 study published in the journal Food Chemistry, older persons who consume excessive amounts of tyramine may get migraines, significant blood pressure elevations, and maybe cardiac arrhythmias. Some people may experience lightheadedness at the beginning of this biochemical journey, which may culminate in ER visits. Additionally, the mold present in blue cheese raises the possibility of listeria contamination, particularly if the cheese is soft, unpasteurized, or carelessly stored. For those with weakened immune systems, this infection poses a serious risk of death. The subtlety with which it manifests itself is concerning. The initial symptoms could include a flushed face, a pulsing headache, or mild palpitations. After that, you may have a tightness in your chest, ringing in your ears, and a strong feeling of pressure, which is sometimes mistakenly attributed to stress or aging. In actuality, this results from a neurotoxic excess that causes your vascular health to gradually deteriorate. Furthermore, eating blue cheese is highly discouraged if you have high blood pressure or kidney issues. It is one of the saltiest cheeses on the market, with about 400 milliliters of sodium per ounce. This proportion is doubled in some milder cheeses, however. When combined with the substantial amount of cream present in some blue cheeses, you run the danger of clogging your arteries and raising your blood pressure. Many individuals might not associate their favorite blue cheese wedge with frequent stomach aches or headaches. However, in older people, it frequently serves as the covert cause of enigmatic chronic symptoms. The next most frequent culprit is cream cheese. At first glance, cream cheese may appear innocuous. It's soft, spreads readily, and goes well with breakfast bagels. However, beneath that silky texture is a potentially harmful fat source, particularly for people 60 years of age and older. Cream cheese is heavy in saturated fat and low in protein. In essence, it provides a high-calorie, low-nutrient boost that doesn't meet your body's actual nutritional requirements. Rather, it promotes fat storage, particularly in the abdominal region. Energy-dense, nutrient-poor foods like cream cheese make weight management more difficult, especially when paired with a metabolism that is already slowing down because of age-related muscle loss. Bacterial contamination is another risk that is often overlooked while discussing cream cheese. Because of its delicate texture, cream cheese is especially vulnerable to Listeria, a dangerous bacterium that is especially dangerous for the elderly. Listeria affects more than only the gastrointestinal tract. Meningitis or septicemia may result, especially in elderly patients with compromised immune systems. When cream cheese is left out of the refrigerator, even for a short time, as happens at workplace parties or breakfast buffets, the risk increases. Take into account the next point as well. Frequently honey, walnut, or strawberry flavors are added to cream cheese to make it sweeter. These types exacerbate the issue by subtly adding additional sugars. Insulin levels are raised by sugar, which increases inflammation and encourages fat storage. Now you have to deal with items high in sugar, fat, and possibly bacteria in what many people think is a healthy morning meal. It is a triple threat to people over 60 that is regrettably frequently disregarded. Let's talk about processed cheese spreads first and foremost. A stroke on a plate is a fitting description for this kind of cheese spread, which is available in tubs, jars, or little triangles covered in foil. Don't be fooled by its apparent innocence, particularly if it's promoted as kid-friendly or easily distributed. This is the most deadly cheese for people 60 and older. Why? Because it contains the most dangerous ingredients of all past offenders. A startling number of chemical additions, a high saturated fat content, and a very high sodium concentration. What makes processed cheese spreads so dangerous is the way they are made. These are not just cheeses that have been softened. They undergo emulsification, stabilization, and chemical processing using artificial substances such as sodium phosphate, a preservative that has been connected to kidney harm. In fact, renal damage, which is more prevalent as we age, is further exacerbated by phosphate additions. These can put a strain on your kidneys over time, which may result in renal disease or failure. Furthermore, this is not merely a fringe theory. Numerous studies, including one from the National Kidney Foundation, have linked phosphate additions in processed foods to declining kidney function. But that's only the start. Furthermore, a lot of spreads contain large levels of partly hydrogenated oils or trans fats, which are prohibited in many nations, but are nevertheless present in some low-cost cheese products. By increasing bad cholesterol, LDL, and decreasing good cholesterol, HDL, trans fats increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Because of its soft, creamy feel, many people believe it to be less fattening than hard cheese. But nutritionally, it's worse. Inflammation brought on by the artificial substances it contains may accelerate cognitive impairment in those over 60. As a result, you should get rid of this cheese from your fridge right away. In addition to being unhealthy, it has a strong biological component of aggression. In the end, cheese need not be the adversary of good health after the age of 60. If you choose it well, it might even be one of the tastiest items in your nutritional toolbox. It's important to know which foods accelerate aging and which ones slow it down. Now, we want to hear from you. What percentage of these cheeses do you typically eat? Have you attempted to replace some of the unhealthy behaviors with more healthful ones? Please share your ideas and experiences in the comments section below. Your insights are enjoyable to read. I appreciate you watching.